Order. Order. We now move on to the 10-minute motion. Yvonne Fovargue.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. My bill has a really simple aim. It's to make the registration of white goods compulsory at the point of sale. Registration is absolutely essential because without a data bank of contact details, manufacturers are unable to get in touch with buyers when things go wrong and a recall is necessary for repair or replacement. And as we all know, things do go wrong. According to the estimates of the charity Electrical Safety First, who firmly support my bill, faulty electrical products are responsible for over 7,000 domestic fires a year. In England alone, over the last 5 years, there were 33 house fires a day caused by white goods. The dangers of non-registration are real, and they were made stark in the recent Whirlpool recall scandal, where a potentially dangerous fault was discovered in certain Hotpoint and Indesit washing machines, and because so few of these appliances were registered, the manufacturers, Whirlpool, were only able to make contact with 40% of customers for a recall, and then only after many months of a big, expensive campaign. The recall response rates are normally about 10 to 20%, and thankfully nobody died, nobody was maimed, but there were about 80 fires directly attributable to that electric fault alone, and many of these would have been preventable had the manufacturer been able to get in touch with the consumer easily. I mean, the fact is that very few customers do register their appliance under the current voluntary system, and that includes many of us in this place. I did a simple straw poll amongst colleagues last week, and I found that not one single person, hand on heart, could say that they had ever registered every appliance that they had bought with the manufacturer. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, you know the scenario. We take the registration card home with every intention of filling it out and sending it off, but we never do. Compulsory registration deals with lethargy at a stroke, and of course it would also deal with the fact that some people are put off registering their goods because they worry about the privacy. I mean, people have had bitter experience of handing over contact details and then being bombarded by sales pitches by telephone or asked to take part in umpteen bogus household surveys. But my bill deals with this by making it a requirement that the details contained in the registration documents can only be used for recall purposes. So there's no marketing, no customer loyalty information would be given to the manufacturer unless there was a recall. But we do give our details to the retailer already because we usually need to arrange delivery of bulky goods. In the case of online purchases, we always give details to a manufacturer. So all that really needs to happen is that this information is collected systematically and provided to a manufacturer if there's a recall. We do need a body to hold the information centrally, of course, and to provide an oversight. And I'm open to discussions on who this could be. Currently, electrical goods recall are the responsibility of a local authority, and they're not dealt with by a centralised body because no such body exists in the UK in comparison with something like the Food Standards Agency. However, it could be a role for the new Office of Product Safety and Standards to take on, which is set up to deliver consumer protection, but that can be discussed. My bill would cover white goods, so we're talking about washing machines, tumble dryers, fridges and freezers, cookers, dishwashers, but I would add microwaves as well, because although they're not strictly white goods, they are all appliances that are not wired into a domestic property's electrics and are not considered to be that portable. They all exhibit an increased risk of fire compared to small appliances such as hairdryers or irons. Now, I fully admit the bill would not cover every eventuality. For example, it doesn't deal with white goods bought second-hand, including through online marketplaces, and that is a problem area. The government's hopefully going to publish its online harms bill, which aims to make the internet a safer place for our citizens, and there could be scope within that legislation to protect consumers in the second-hand electricals market. We could see about that. but I would like to find a way of capturing all white goods sold and resold, perhaps through the use of a product passport where goods could be tracked throughout their life. But it'd be good to talk to ministers about that. But for now, the bill needs to be simple and to the point. There's widespread support for the compulsory registration of white goods from both consumer groups and the industry. We can capture that data at the point of sale, and I would like to stress that the data that is captured would be the delivery address of the goods, not who pays for it, because I'm sure we've all paid. I pay for my mother's goods because she doesn't understand that internet, she used to tell me. But it's delivered to her property. So that would make sense. And retailers have that information because they already deliver the goods. But the fact is, this is a common sense bill. It takes the onus to register the white goods off the consumer and onto the retailer and manufacturer where it belongs. Undoubtedly, we would see fewer electrical fires in homes, fewer injuries and damage, and less need to chase people up and remind them of what model number. I mean, I would ask Mr. Deputy Speaker, who knows the model number of their washing machine easily? Who knows where to look for the model number of their washing machine? And before the Whirlpool, who knew that Indesit was made by Whirlpool? So there are lots of barriers at the moment for people to overcome when there is a recall. So I believe that my bill would be good for the consumer, but it wouldn't only be good for the consumer, it'd be good for the reputation of the retailer and the manufacturer. And that's why I hope that this can be looked at seriously in the future. Thank you.
I've had no notification that anybody wishes to speak against this 10-minute rule motion, and I see nobody standing in their place, so I'll pose the question. The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Who will prepare and bring in the bill?
Carolyn Harris, Sir David Amos, Patricia Gibson, Julie Elliott, Lillian Greenwood, Jill Furness, Andy Slaughter, Rosie Cooper, Judith Cummins and myself, Mr Deputy Speaker.
White goods registration bill.
Second reading what day?
16th of October.
The 16th of October.